When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can seem intense. Like breakup R&B intense.
I thought you said you loved the sweater that I got you. If you didn't, you could have told me.
Geico makes it easy. Just go to Geico.com anytime to update or check your policy without all the extra drama.
I even had a gift receipt.
Blog Talk Radio.
Some time with us. Today our guest is Chris Daley. Chris Daley was raised in Kingston, Jamaica. He graduated from San Diego High School in Spanish Town, Jamaica, Howard University, and the University of Michigan in the United States. Chris spent a significant portion of his career working for Bell Lab Designs and Microchips, and subsequently engaged in the developing marketing strategies at Lucent Technology. For the past 4 years, Daley has pursued a career as a patent examiner at the U.S. Patent Office, focusing on computer architecture and arbitration systems. Chris founded the Y2U Business Innovations, where he focused on developing strategic marketing plans for small and medium-sized businesses. Daley's website, YourGeniusNetwork.com, is undergoing redevelopment to showcase some of the latest marketing tools such as teleseminar and social media. In 2008, he edited an e-book celebrating Jamaica's 46th anniversary, our year of independence, and has subsequently developed a blogging presence at Jamaicans.com. Here, Chris focuses on entrepreneurship, innovation, education, growing the community organizations, and affirming good things happening within the Jamaican community. Welcome, Chris.
It's great to be here, Denise.
Well, before we begin, it says that I noticed that you're from Kingston, Jamaica, and a lot of people, including myself in the diaspora, may confuse Kingston, which is spelled Kitson, from Kingston, Jamaica, which is our capital and probably the most recognized of the cities on the island. Tell us a little bit about Kingston.
Kingston Town is actually a small town. Kingston Town, it's a small town about 8 miles north of Spanish Town. It's basically an agricultural community where my grandfather lived, and my parents grew up, and I spent time there going to elementary school there before I went on to Spanish Town for high school.
Oh, so it would be like a suburb.
Yes, it's a country suburb, if you can say that.
Okay.
Exactly.
So it would be like a small
I grew up on a farm, right.
Did you? That's interesting.
Yes.
So you got all the natural everything.
Oh, gee. I had to tie goats out in the morning and harvest corn and peanuts in the summertime.
Well, the one thing about being raised on a farm is that you never go hungry. You may not have any money, but you know that you're going to eat. And I think that's a
correct.
good thing, you know?
You have to be very resourceful.
Yes, you have to be. So you have been doing a lot of interesting things for the community. Who do you feel would benefit the most? Jamaicans on the island or the ones in the diaspora, and why in regards to your Genius Network and some of the other things you've been involved with?
My idea is this, is that the separation between the physical Jamaica and the diaspora is one that's bridged very quickly by technology. Technology erases geographic boundaries and actually ties us together if we can do a good job in utilizing some of these tools to tie folks together. So we can have teleseminars, we can have web conferences where we can see each other through a virtual space and participate in real life. The issue is, can we develop and encourage the local marketplace that we're in, and collectively knit those together that we can be of a greater force to the betterment of Jamaica.
I see.
Both parties can participate in this. Technology has erased the geographical boundary.
Oh, but that definitely makes sense, especially for the Jamaican Diaspora conferences. I believe that's a biannual event, and so for people who can't necessarily come to those conferences, that could be a tool to be used to bring you closer to find out what's going on the island. Was that an idea of yours?
Exactly. The organization that I'm very attractive to, especially here, I look at it as one of intellectual remittance. We do a great job in actually sharing it. 20% of Jamaica's GNP comes from remittances. But how about on the intellectual side? If we can partner with folks in Jamaica and share ideas and collaborate, we can have great things happening. And that's what I'm moving beyond us, what we're doing. In that sense, I'm really focusing and developing knowledge, because knowledge is the mental muscle that we're dealing with in the 21st century. And as we can implement advanced technologies and advanced learning schemes, we can be at the cutting edge of society and actually reap some of the benefits of that for the island.
And also create a lot of employment. I read somewhere that India's income, GDP is something like 10%. A lot of those things are done because a lot of companies are outsourcing to India to answer the phone. And the fact that Jamaica has we're an English Caribbean as opposed to Spanish Caribbean, that's certainly a niche that could be tapped. And some of the other things.
India got a really great break at the turn of the century during the Y2K thing, and a lot of the work of fixing all of these microprocessors were farmed out to India. They did such a wonderful job that folks said, what else can you do? And so they really have propelled themselves by developing the IT technology and being able to invest some of the wealth they have gotten from that into other areas that's affected India in a marvelous way. And here we are with such significant intellectual talent being underutilized, that somehow we can harness that capability at the leading edge to add value, not at the low end. We do some call center work, but we can move up the information. Yes, we do. But I'd like to position us up the information age food chain where we add in more value, not at the low end of the totem pole.
So what are those ways that you could see us doing, getting the word out? Of course, we're doing it here, but what are some of the other ways that you see that we could basically get the word out so that more Jamaicans in the diaspora and on the island to utilize what you have to offer?
Well, I thank you for this opportunity to actually share the word through your organizations. Every chance and opportunity I get to actually share with an organization, and they can, by word of mouth, we can do marvelous things. Social media is one of the great tools that makes that really powers word of mouth so quickly. You share it with somebody shares the link with somebody else, and before you know it, the thing is taking off like a wildfire, and everybody become engaged with it.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Where do you get your entrepreneurial instinct and stay motivated?
Well, I enjoy learning, and I like being at the cutting edge. As I said, I was trained as an engineer, but about 12 years ago, I did a project for a marketing person, and he loved the work that I did. And he said, "Why don't you come work for me?" So I went to learn from him, and he gave me an on-the-job MBA training. He showed me a lot of marketing ideas, and I really made a rite of passage from being an engineer to being a marketer, and that's my deepest passion, to do marketing and combine it with innovation. Yeah. So one of the things, how can I when you live within the information age in which we live, we don't have the luxury anymore of not taking care of our most precious commodity, which is our minds, and developing our minds. So I have monthly means in which I develop my marketing skills, and I have a continuous learning plan where I'm constantly advancing myself and learning new skills. I go to a lot of teleseminars. I don't need to leave my house to participate in webinars and teleseminars, but I can do that via the internet and get a lot of constant learning that I can apply to some of the projects that I'm involved in.
Oh, I see. Why is it important that entrepreneurs like yourself come from developing nations? Is it an economic option for empowerment? Do you find that to be the case?
It is the only way we can do it. The way wealth is created going forward is not. It's through knowledge and being able to extract value from knowledge. Look at the companies that are doing well. Google, Amazon, are knowledge-based companies. Exactly. Apple. These are all knowledge and innovate companies. And so how can we participate within our culture in that kind of enterprise? We don't have to be at the high end of the technology, but I think instead of importing some of these technologies, we can actually develop it. Knowledge appropriately applied can give us such a leverage that some of the technologies I see happening, it's just astounding that we're not taking more advantage of this to actually knit people together. Part of the issue is we have to leverage our community in a better way where we are more integrated, and we have technology to integrate to do that.
I noticed that. Okay, like I say, I've seen a lot of commercials where they're trying to get every child to have a laptop. I see that mostly promoted in African countries, or at least the commercials that I've seen. It looks like they're promoting it in Africa, but I don't see that in the Caribbean. I've never seen an actual marketing campaign towards Jamaica, or let's be more specific.
Right. I haven't seen that yet. I've heard of one person, a couple in Jamaica trying to do that in a small scale, but I don't see a large strategic plan to implement. Like a few years ago, MIT professor developed this plan of doing $100 computer. And some countries actually invested in it. It's somewhat petered out. They haven't been able to get the price point. The price point's about $200 right now. It's solar powered. It's rugged. And if you're hooked into the net, then you have such a vast resource of knowledge that kids can tap into as a learning start.
Particularly
but invested in our teachers, be able to get them excited. Kids will learn this stuff easy. But it's to change the mindset and to put some of these tools within our teachers.
Or at least the teachers who are about to graduate from their teaching curriculum. Maybe not the older ones because they're probably going to retire and you're set in their ways, but certainly the ones that are about to graduate from university and start their career as a teacher. That would be an easier target, I think.
Older teachers have a wealth of information. If we can extract that information via technology, it will make our society much richer. And we wouldn't have lost the experience factor that body of information that's embodied in older teachers.
What is the significance of the site Your Genius?
Yard Genius, the goal of Yard Genius is to create a site that's become a portal where the best and the brightest information within the diaspora is collected. As I said, we're in the information era. Mental muscle is what counts. Learning and being able to extract the nectar of the best and brightest of Jamaicans has to be where people can go and freely access. And so we'll be doing interviews there. We'll be having how-to videos and how to promote especially small businesses. We'll be having teleseminars. And I say it's going to be a university of sorts that captures a lot of information that will help empower Jamaican small businesses into the future using the technologies that we have today.
Oh, okay. Well, so can you elaborate a little bit more on the benefits of utilizing this technology?
What I see is a lot of, as we move into the information age, a lot of small businesses, they do not have the resources or the wherewithal to be able to leverage these new technologies via the web to be able to further their businesses. So if you go back to the businesses that are really flourishing today, even in a bad economy, they're able to use technology to actually give them that added edge. So if there's a way to, say, create one of my major projects that I'm working on right now is to create or partner with others who can create a business social network where folks can be a part of that and get the benefits of being in a virtual company that are complementary. So if I provide services as a restaurant or as a barber or as a doctor or as a dentist or as an attorney, you can share what your services are. Folks can come there and see what's happening within your community. And at the same time, you get the benefit of that. We drive traffic to that site where folks, you're getting customers coming to your site, and you can then take some of the savings that you've gotten from the benefit of folks participating and plow it back into scholarships for kids in Jamaica.
Oh.
So we're trying to tie that together where we give folks a motivation to invest in the countries and at the same time get benefit from being a part of a network like that.
So tell us about your blog on Jamaicans.com.
I started blogging on Jamaicans.com, I guess, right after the election. I have
which election? The Jamaican election or the American
U.S. election?
Okay.
My first official post, was a capture of my daughter. Actually came home from college. We've gone since she was 3 years old. She's been going to vote with me, and she wanted to come home from college. I went to get her to come vote in person as opposed to vote by proxy. And so I captured that experience. But there's been a lot of it's been a historical election, but I'm not just so enamored by the euphoria that's around it. That's what the implications of the elections are and what it can do to move, especially the Jamaican community. So there's affinity because of our culture and the first black president, the most powerful person in the world. That's fine. But that aside, what's the implication for Jamaica? I'm not sure what that means yet. But I'd like for us to continue, instead of focusing on what's happening in the U.S., focus on the real issues in Jamaica. I just did a piece promoting tourism in Jamaica. Tourism is a lot of Jamaica. And so
yeah, it is.
If I have to do that over Hawaii, I see people going to Hawaii, and I ask them, why are you going to Hawaii? Why not Jamaica? And so the winter bailout plan that's been put in place, I'll blog on communities that are making a difference in Jamaica. I'll go visit with them. I'll get stories sent to me, and I'll make sure I promote them, and I'll give them a shout-out. The security in Jamaica, that's it. We need to own that, and that we have to de-ghettoize it. Each and every Jamaican have to take that seriously because it's our country that we'd like to restore, and whatever ways we can invest and become stakeholders in that and make a difference, we need to do that.
Definitely.
So that's some of my passions, and I try to
you try to
encourage and support
on your
people
blog.
around that. Exactly.
And finally, what would you like your listeners to do now that they have learned something about Yard Genius and the blog that you have on Jamaicans.com?
I'd like to hear back from the community. You can share what the blog is, but I'd like to get as many comments back. I'd like to get feedback. Am I addressing issues that are of interest to folks? I get some feedback, but I don't think I'm getting enough. People will send me email as opposed to posts. It seems like we don't have a culture where people like post it. They'll send me email, and I've been encouraging them just to post it. Other folks can actually see some of the comeback, some of the feedback that we can have a dialogue in a wider community.
Right. But
I also like for people to take action.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the whole point of basically bringing up a topic in the media. One way or the other, it should invoke some
right.
kind
I
of
want to hear from you, good, bad, or ugly. Doesn't matter.
So because you want to hear from good, bad, or ugly, how can the public contact you?
They can either contact me. My email is yardgenius@gmail.com, or they could leave me a comment on my blog. Now, my commitment is to get back to any inquiry within 24 hours.
Well, we definitely appreciate you spending some quality time with us. I know a lot of Jamaicans in the diaspora, on the island, people interested in the Caribbean will contact you. And just thank you very much for spending some time with us, Chris.
It's my pleasure, and I look forward to hearing from our great community as we continue to encourage others to make Jamaica the best and the brightest and restore it to its former glory.
That's right. Bye.
When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can seem intense, like breakup R&B intense.
I thought you said you loved the sweater that I got you. If you didn't, you could have told me.
Geico makes it easy. Just go to Geico.com anytime to update or check your policy without all the extra drama.
I even had a gift